evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Frisch Theater and tonight's performance by the Frisch Drama Society. Now, I have a few brief announcements before we get underway. The use of flash photography and the recording of the show by any means, audio or video, is strictly prohibited by management. Also, please refrain from eating, drinking, or smoking anything during tonight's performance. For your convenience, toilets are located in the lobby. Also, please take a moment now to locate the exits nearest your seat. Should the theater experience a sudden loss of pressure, oxygen masks will fall automatically. Simply place the mask over your nose and mouth and continue to breathe normally. If you are in the theater with a small child, simply place your own mask on first and let the little bugger fend for himself. I wish to warn the audience that due to strong language, subversive concepts, and shabby scholarship, the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged might not be suitable for children. Children must be taller than this line to enjoy the show. Tonight, we will be attempting a feat which we believe to be unprecedented in the history of theater. That is, to capture, in a single theatrical experience, the magic, the genius, the towering grandeur of the complete works of William Shakespeare. Now, we have a lot to get through tonight, so I'd like to introduce a first member of the Frisch Drama Society, who is one of Frisch's preeminent Shakespearean scholars. He is currently a senior at Frisch with a C- average, and I believe has read 2 books about William Shakespeare. He is here tonight to provide a brief preface to the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged. Please join me in welcoming Mikey Greenblatt.
And greetings, ladies and gentlemen. William Shakespeare, playwright, poet, actor, Stratford's proudest flower, transplanted from the heart of the English countryside to bask in the warmth of London's literary greenhouse. A man who, despite the ravages of male-patterned baldness, planted the potent seed of his poetical genius in the fertile womb of Elizabeth's England. There took root and spread through the lymphatic system of Western civilization until it became the oozing carbuncle of knowledge and understanding that grows even today on the very tip of our collective consciousness. And yet, how much do we intellectually flaccid members of the 21st century appreciate the plum fruit of Shakespeare's productive loins? Too little, I would argue. I believe I can illustrate this point by conducting a brief poll here among our audience. Bob, if I may have the house lights for a moment, please. Now, you are a theater-going crowd, no doubt of above cultural and literary awareness. And yet, if I may just have a brief show of hands, how many of you here tonight have ever seen or read any play by William Shakespeare? Any contact at all with the bard? Just raise your... I know more than we do.
Don't worry about it.
No, we really should get out of here.
Look, they don't know Shakespeare from Shinola. Okay, let's just keep going.
What should I do?
Narrow it down. What? Narrow it down.
Let's see if we can narrow it down a bit, shall we? How many of you here tonight have ever seen or read the play All's Well That Ends Well? Yes. That seems to be separating the wheat from the chaff rather nicely. Now let's see who the true Shakespeare trivia champs are here tonight. How many of you here tonight have ever seen or read the play King John? King John, anyone? Oh, you have you? would you mind telling the audience what it's about?
It's about a hunchback.
This is exactly what I am talking about. Oh, right, you laugh, ladies and gentlemen, you scoff, but let he who is free from sin live in a glass house. That face, ladies and gentlemen, represents all of your faces. This empty brain is your empty brains. These glazed eyes are your glazed eyes. These teeth are your teeth, and they cry out, "Floss me!" Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that our society's collective capacity to comprehend, much less attain, the genius of a William Shakespeare has been systematically compromised by computers, vandalized by video games, saturated with soap operas, and dealt its death blow by Joe Biden. But have no fear, the Frisch Drama Society is here. From God and the literary muse, to spread the holy word of the bard to the masses, to help you take those first halting steps out of the 20th century quagmire and into the future. Yes, the future. A glorious future. A future where this book will be found in every hotel room in the world. This is my dream, ladies and gentlemen, and it begins here, tonight.
Hallelujah!
Join us in taking those first brave new steps towards the intellectual world of redemption by opening your hearts. Yes, please open your hearts. And your pocketbooks. Or simply charge your donations by using your MasterCard or Visa and phoning 1-800-THE-BARD now. Give us your cash if we be friends, and deduct it when the tax year ends. Thank you, and may the Bard be with you.
Hallelujah! Those of you who own a copy of this book know that no collection would be complete without a brief biography of the life of William Shakespeare. Providing this portion of the show is another member of the Frisch Drama Society. Please welcome to the stage, Benji Dukas.
No, don't touch them, they go in order.
Okay.
You guys didn't know I was in this play, did you? My dad over there, he was so confused. Okay, so I've just been taking some notes on Shakespeare's life, you know, so we could get the show off to a good start, so you can know about all the stuff he did and everything.
Yeah, just get on with it.
Okay, here we go, let's see. Here we go. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born in 1564 in the town of Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwickshire. The third of 8 children, he was the eldest son of John Shakespeare, a locally prominent merchant, and Mary Arden, the daughter of a Roman Catholic member of the land. In 1582, he married Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway.
A different Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, a farmer's daughter. He is supposed to have left Stratford after being caught poaching in the deer park of a local justice of peace. He arrived in London by 1588. By 1592, he had achieved success as an actor and a playwright. After 1608, his dramatic production lessened, and it seems he spent more time in Stratford. There, he dictated to his secretary, Rudolf Hess, his work Mein Kampf, in which he outlined his plan for the restoration of Germany as a dominant power over Europe. After reoccupying the Rhineland zone between Germany and France, and annexing Austria, the Sudetenland, and the remainder of Czechoslovakia, Shakespeare invaded Poland on September 1939, thus precipitating World War II. I never knew that. He remained in Berlin when the Russians entered the city, and there he committed suicide with his mistress, Eva Braun. He is buried in the church in Stratford, although his head is still being frozen in a holding tank in Glendale, California. Thank you! I think I might have mixed up my world history cards with my English lit.
Now, without further ado, the Frisch Drama Society proudly presents the complete works of William Shakespeare, Abridged.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. But how many parts exactly must each man play? Now, according to my computations, there's exactly 1,122 roles in all of Shakespeare's works. Way too many. Take, for example, his most popular play, Romeo and Juliet. Two passionate lovers, a meddling nurse, a sympathetic priest, vital to the story. But Mercutio, Lady Capulet, unsightly fat on Shakespeare's otherwise muscular body of work. Now, let us therefore begin our shrinkage of Shakespeare's canon by rendering the gristle and blubber of his most popular romantic tragedy down to the tender, moist, underage flesh of Romeo and Juliet. Prologue.
Ready? Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge breaks to new unity, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventures, piteous overthrows, do with their death bury their parents' strife.
Act 1, Scene 1. In the street meet two men, tall and handsome. One, Benvolio. The other named Samson. Their hatred fueled by their ancient feud. For one serves Capulet, the other, Montague.
Oh, I like
Oh, it's him. I hate him. I hate him. I'm gonna kill him.
I'm gonna kill him. Oh, it's him. I hate him. I swear I'm gonna kill him. Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
No, sir, I do but bite my thumb.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
No, sir, I do bite my thumb, but I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir. No, sir.
But if you do, sir, I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Yes, better.
You lie.
Down with the Montague.
Up yours, Capulet.
Throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your movements.
Buzzkill.
You, Capulet, shall go along with me. Benvolio, come here this afternoon to our farther pleasure in this case.
Brown nose.
Ass hat!
Where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Glad I am that he was not at this fray. But see, he comes.
Ready?
You got everything?
I think so.
How's my hair?
Good morrow, cuz.
Is the day so young?
But new struck 9.
I me, sad hours seem long.
What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out,
Out of love?
out of her favor, where I'm in love.
Alas, that love. So gentle in his view, but so rough and tyrannous in proof.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, sure that I see pathways to his will.
Oh! Go ye to the feast of the Capulets. There comes fair Rosaline, whom I so loveth, among the other beauties of Verona. Go thither.
Go thither. Why, Benvolio, who is obviously one of Romeo's closest friends, suddenly starts calling him thither is unclear. Samuel Johnson suggests that thither should really read thither, and that Benvolio is suggesting Romeo ease his sorrows by practicing his music. A very dumb emendation. Rowe posited that Benvolio is really trying to say sister, but has a terrible lisp. That, of course, doesn't make any sense either, but it's an amusing image.
Go thither and compare her face with some that I shall show, and I shall make thee think that swan a crow.
None fairer than my love.
There's free beer.
There's free beer! Let's go!
And so much for scenes 1 and 2. Now on to the scene of the Capulets, where Romeo is doomed to meet his Juliet, and where, in the scene of timeless romance, Romeo is going to make every advance.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty until this night. If I profane with my unworthiest hand the gentle fine, the holy shrine this is, my lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand to soothe this rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrims, you do wrong your hands too much, which manly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands whose hands do touch, and palm to palm and holy palmers kiss.
Have not saint lips and holy palmers do?
Ah, pilgrims' lips they must use in prayer.
Well then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayers affect that cake.
Then from my lips, the sins that they have took.
Sin from my lips, oh trespass with yours. Give me my sin again.
I can't kiss you, the sea is Shiva.
It's in the script.
I have an idea. Guided look. Oh, coming, mother, just a second.
Is she a Capulet? Aye, so I fear. The more is mine rest. What are you doing?
The balcony scene.
But soft, what light through? Through yonder window! Breaks.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?
Perhaps the most widely misconstrued line in all of Shakespeare. The ignorant masses, that's you, dear audience, generally assume wherefore to mean where, and that Juliet is asking Romeo where in physical space he is. In fact, wherefore means why. Juliet is asking Romeo why he wastes so much time on his paintings. Wherefore art Thou. When he could get a real job as an accountant or at least an insurance salesman. And buy a nice late model carriage when driving in for pizza and espresso and cruising to Piazza on Saturday nights.
Deny thy father, refuse thy name, will not be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Catholic. What's in the name anyway, by which you call a nose? By another name would still smell? Oh, Romeo, doff thy name, which is not privy, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I shall be new baptized. Henceforth I shall never be Romeo.
What did you just say?
Said I take thee at thy word. Call me but love.
Call you but love.
No, call me but love.
Okay, but love, but love.
Stop it!
What man art thou? Art thou not Romeo and Montague?
Neither, fair maiden, if thee dislike.
Thou shalt love me then. I know I will say I, and I will take thy word. Thou swearest, thou mayest be false. Oh, Romeo, if thou love, then pronounce it faithfully.
Lady, beyond the blessed moon, I swear.
Oh, swear not by the moon.
Then what shall I swear by? Her? Lady, beyond the blessed innocent maiden, I swear.
No, I don't think so. No, do not swear at all. Although I join thee, I've no joy in this contract tonight. It's too rash, too sudden, too unadvised, too like lightning, which will cease to be, ere one can say it lightens to me. Good night.
Would thou be so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have?
Exchange thy love's faithful vows for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it. 3 words, gentle Romeo, and then good night indeed. If that thy bents of love be honorable, thy purposed marriage, send word tomorrow. Night, night. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Really, it is.
Well, Romeo did swoon with love, by Cupid he'd been crippled. But Juliet had a loathsome cause, his loathsome name was Tybalt.
Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain, therefore turn and draw.
Tybalt, I do protest, I never injured thee, but love thee, better than thou canst devise.
A wretched boy I am for you. Oh, this is going to hurt. Ow! Explain.
Now what do we do? I don't know. He skipped all this stuff. Go to here.
Okay.
So from Tybalt's death onward, the lovers are cursed. Despite the best efforts of the friar and nurse, their fate pursues them, they can't seem to duck it, and at the end of Act 5, they both kick the bucket.
Gallop, page, fire, seize, everything collaborates immediately. Come some night, come Romeo day night, come Black Friday night. Oh, night, come. I didn't write it, and bring me my Romeo! Oh, it's my nurse! What news? Let the day he's gone, his guilt is dead!
Romeo, whoever would thought it, Romeo?
What devil art thou to torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Did Romeo slay himself?
I saw the wound. I saw with my own eyes. Here this manly breast. Men are all dissemblers. They take things apart, reassemble them. I don't know what a dissembler is.
Is Romeo slaughtered and is Tybalt dead?
No, Romeo was banished and killed with the slain. Romeo that killed Tybalt, he is banished.
Did Romeo's hand shed in Tybalt's blood?
I did, it did, Liana did.
Oh, friar lords, Romeo is banished and Tybalt is slain, and I've got cramps and that not so fresh feeling. Can you help me, please?
Take thou this vial, and this distilled liquor drink thou off, and presently, though thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor.
I feel a cold, drowsy humor running through my veins.
Told you so.
Oh no, but wife, death hath sucked the honey of the breath. Oh dear Juliet, why art thou so fair?
Don't know. Luck, I guess.
Here's to my love. O true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
I don't think so.
Thus, with a kiss, I die. Don't do drugs!
Good morning. Where are we? Where is Milo? Ah! What's this? A pop close to my true love's hand? Poison I see half on this timeless end. Oh, churl, junk left no friendly job to help me after. So I'll breathe. Oh, happy dagger, this is my sheath. That's Romeo for ya. There must be die.
The end.
The end.
A blooming peace this morning with it brings.
The sun for sorrow will not show its head.
Go forth and have more talk of these sad things.
For some shall be pardoned, and some punished.
For never was there a story of more woe.
Than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
Okay, we spent way too long on Romeo and Juliet. But it is a classic. Unlike our next play, Shakespeare's Titus Andronicus. Ladies and gentlemen, in preparing this unprecedented complete work show, we have encountered the following problem. How to make these 400-year-old plays more accessible to a modern audience. One popular trend is to take these plays and transpose them into modern settings. We have seen evidence of this in such unusual locations such as the lunar landscape and Cleveland, Ohio. So we now present Shakespeare's first tragedy, Titus Andronicus, as a cooking show!
Hi, I'm Titus Andronicus. Welcome to The Gory Gourmet. Now, when you've had a lousy day, your son's murdered, your left hand chopped off, your daughter attacked, her tongue cut out,
Hello.
both her hands chopped off, the last thing you want to do is cook. Unless you cook the attacker and serve him to his mother at a dinner party! My daughter, Lavinia, and I will show you. And how are we doing this evening?
Not so good, Daddy. I got my tongue chopped off.
I know. It's a pisser, isn't it? But don't worry. We'll get our revenge. Now hark, villain. I will grind your bones to powder small, and out of your blood I will make a paste, and in that paste a coffin I will rear, and I shall make a pastry out of your shameful head. Come, Lavinia, receive the blood. Now you're going to want to make a nice, clean incision from the carotid artery to the jugular vein, like so.
That's really gross, Daddy.
You're going to want to use a nice, big bowl for this because the human body has about 4 quarts of blood in it. And when that he is dead, which should be right about now, I will go grind your bones to powder small, and with this hateful liquor temper it, and in that paste let your vile head be baked at about 350 degrees. And after 40 minutes you have the loveliest human head pie, which I prepared earlier. Who would like to be the first to try this delicious, high-protein treat? Come, gracious lord, come, fair queen. Will't please you eat? Will't please you feed? It's finger-licking good! Oh. Well, that's all the time we have for this evening. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to come back next week as our special guest chef, Timon of Athens, shows us how to make a ratatouille out of our special guests, the Merry Wives of Windsor. Until then,
Bon appetit! I
on Titus Andronicus 9, just desserts. But we now move on to explore the genius evident in Shakespeare's more mature plays as we present to you this dark and brooding tragedy, Othello, the Moor of Venice.
Speak of me as I am, let not the extenuate, one who loved not wisely but too well. For never was there a story more woe than this of Othello's Desdemona. Ah, oh, Desdemona!
Lights! More lights! I'm sorry, we left Benji on his own to research this play. Benji!
I'm sorry about this. It seems that Benji, securing the infallibility of the internet, has Googled the word more and determined that it's a place where you tie up boats.
I Googled it and Binged it.
Lose the boats. Benji, you're so ignorant. I thought you were the one with the C- average. So what's a Moor?
Well, interestingly, this is the subject of a blazing scholarly debate. For Elizabethans, Moor could refer either specifically to the Berbers of North Africa, or more generally to any people of sub-Saharan African descent.
So Othello's black.
You mean African American?
Doesn't the play take place in Italy?
Okay, so he's African Italian.
Why can't we just do it in blackface?
What? Are you trying to piss off Oprah? No. Today's entertainment culture expects sensitive, ethnically appropriate casting. If Othello's African Italian, we can't do it without a genuine, Koran-spouting, spaghetti-loving homeboy.
Hey, just because we're white doesn't mean we can't represent the Afro-Italian condition, yo. I've got this idea, it's kind of old school, and it's totally boatless. We just gotta get a beat going.
Here's the story of a brother by the name of Othello.
He liked white women and he liked green jello.
And a punk named Iago who made himself a menace.
Because he didn't like Othello, the Moor of Venice.
Now Othello got married to Desdemona, but he took up for the wars and he left her alone.
With Mona.
A grown-up. He left her alone.
He didn't write a letter and he didn't tell a voter that the Mona she was faithful, she was chastity tight, she was the daughter of a duke. Yeah, she was totally white.
But Iago had a plan that was clever and slick.
He was crafty.
He was sly.
He was not a nice guy.
He said, I'm gonna shaft the Moor.
How you gonna do it?
Tell us.
Well, I know his tragic flaw is that he's
Too damn jealous. I need a duke.
I need a dope.
I'm some kind of schmo.
So you find a chump sucker by the name of Cassio.
And he passed a Desdemona's handkerchief.
So Othello gets a wonder who this may be if.
Well, he'd been out fighting.
Commanded an army.
Our destiny cast by Khan Salami.
He got home to stick a pillow on her face.
Kills her and soliloquies as bad as disgrace.
But there's Amelia at the door.
Who we met in Act 4.
Who said you big dummy? She was
Yours. She was.
She was.
real nice too.
So why'd you have to go and make her face turn blue?
It's true.
It's you.
Now what you gonna do?
do?
And Othello
So
say.
this is getting pretty scary.
So he pulled out his blade and committed carry.
Iago got caught, but he probably popped a plea.
Iago got off on a technicality.
Moved to Hollywood.
And got his own TV.
Show, that is.
Prime time.
Criminal Minds.
Africa!
Why don't we take a break from all this heavy tragedy and move on to the comedies for a while?
Great, comedies.
See, when it came to the comedies, Shakespeare was a genius at borrowing and adapting plot devices from different theatrical traditions.
Now, Shakespeare's comedies were greatly influenced by the Roman plays of Plautus and Terence, Ovid's hilarious Metamorphosis, as well as the rich Italian tradition of Commedia dell'arte. He was a genius at borrowing and adapting plot devices from these different theatrical traditions.
Isn't that usually called plagiarism?
Shakespeare didn't plagiarize, he distilled.
Whatever, he's a big cheater. Basically, Shakespeare stole everything he ever wrote.
Stole is kind of strong. Let's go back to distilled.
All right, well, he distilled 3 or 4 of the best gimmicks of his time and milked them into 16 plays.
You see, essentially, Shakespeare was a formula writer. Once he found a device that worked, he used it
Over and over and over again.
So, Mr. Shakespeare, the question we have for you is this.
Why did you write 16 comedies when you could have written just one? Well, obviously Shakespeare should have written one exemplary play instead of 16 sucky ones. Which is why I have taken the liberty of condensing Shakespeare's comedic diarrhea into a single, well-formed lump of hilarity, which I've entitled The comedy of two well-measured gentlemen lost in the Merry Wives of Venice on a midsummer's...
What are you doing?
I'm Buck in Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's Puck with a P, not Buck with a B.
Awkward.
The comedy of two well-measured gentlemen lost in the Merry Wives of Venice on a midsummer's 12th night in winter, or...
Cymbeline taming Pericles the merchant in the Tempest of Love as much as you like it for nothing.
Or... The Love Boat Goes to Verona.
Comedy?
Comedy.
Comedy.
Act 1. A Bohemian duke swears not to celibacy, turns the rule of his city over to his tyrannical brother, and sets sail for the golden age of Greece. While rounding the heel of Italy, the duke's ship is caught in a terrible tempest, along with his sweet, young, clueless young daughter, where they are swept up on a desert island. His young daughter stumbles into a cave, where she's attacked by a creature, who's either a man, or a fish, or both.
Oh, dear father, I am so lonely and pubescent on this island. I am sad. Boo-hoo. And frisky.
Oh, precious daughter, watch out for symbols of colonial oppression lurking in caves waiting for young ladies.
Okay, bye-bye.
Meanwhile, the Duke's long-lost son, a handsome, dashing, clueless young merchant, is also shipwrecked, coincidentally, on the very same island.
How shall I survive without funds in this strange and foreign land? I know, I must needs find me an old Jew. Behold, here cometh the Judeo-Pine stereotype now.
What's the matter, Wig?
You to pay that loan, Bubby.
The wicked Jew tricks the merchant into putting down his brains as collateral on the loan.
Such a deal.
Act 2. Fearing ravishment, the beautiful and clueless young princess disguises herself as a boy and becomes a page to a handsome, dashing, clueless young soldier.
You there, boy.
Yes, I mean, yes.
You shall woo the Lady Violeta for me, for she is shrewish, and I feel sick with love.
I too feel flummy with love. For though I may not speak it aloud, I do love thee.
Though I am a boy. I swing it not that way, boy. Message for me, hence.
Whence?
Hide thee hither from hence.
Act 3. The beautiful and clueless young princess arrives in Mandrag to woo the Lady Violivia.
It is I, the witchy shrew, Violivia. Come hither.
Whither?
Hither from thither. If you come in, I'll show you my zither.
Act 4. On the 12th night of midsummer, a puckish young sprite leads all the lovers deep into a forest where she squeezes the aphroditic juice of a hermaphroditic flower into their eyes, while the queen of the fairies seduces a rude mechanical who has the head of an ass. Act 5. The merchant recognizes his sister.
My nearly identical twin.
My long-lost and strangely attractive brother.
The shrew realizes she's very curious.
Oh, brave new world.
The soldier realizes he actually prefers bottom, and thereby hangs a sweet tale. The Jew exits, pursued by a bear. And they all get married in the state of Massachusetts and go out to dinner.
Except for a minor character in the second act who gets eaten by a bear, and the Duke's brother sons who, unable to pay back the old Jew, give themselves lobotomies.
And they all live happily ever after, because all is well that finally ends. Thank you.
We now move on to the rest of Shakespeare's tragedies, because basically we found out that the comedies are not half as funny as the tragedies are. Take, for example, Shakespeare's Scottish play, Macbeth.
Shh! Don't talk about that in here.
Sorry, I forgot.
We address here the superstition that uttering the name of this allegedly accursed play is bad luck. Those who flaunt this curse are known to die mysteriously, go bankrupt, or worse, pursue a career in Jewish education.
Which you're really not supposed to talk about in a theater unless you're performing it, because it's cursed. Booga booga booga! Fortunately, however, we at the Frisch Drama Society are not only able to perform an abbreviated version of Macbeth, but after much thorough research, we are also able to do so in perfect Scottish accents.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present our authentically Scottish production of Macbeth.
Stay in perfect Mac Speaker, Mac tell me Mac more.
Macbeth, beware Macdo. None of women born shall harm Macbeth. Till bird na mood come the Jones nine, don't you know?
Oh, that's dead great. The Mac what, Mac I, Mac fear of Macduff.
See you, Jimmy, and know that I was from my mother's womb, untimely ripped. What do you think about that, eh?
I do not like it, but I support the woman's right to choose. They are like his breath.
Ah, Macbeth, you killed my wife, you murdered me wee bars, and you did a poop in my soup.
I did it.
Oh, yeah, you did. I had to throw half of it away.
Behold, where lies the usurper's cursed head. Macbeth, your ass is out the windy. Oh, that never was there a story of God and death than that of Mr. and Mrs. Macbeth. Thank you.
Meanwhile, in ancient Rome, Julius Caesar was a much beloved tyrant.
Oh, hail Julius Caesar!
Hail, citizens!
Who was warned by a soothsayer.
Beware the Ides of March! Beware the Ides of March! Beware the Ides of March!
Julius Caesar, however, chose to ignore this warning.
What the hell are the Ides of March? Well, that's today. Et tu, Brute.
Et tu, Brute. Shakespeare, according to Ben Jonson, knew little Latin and less Greek, and it shows here. Research into Plutarch's lives indicates that the conversation between Caesar and Brutus probably went something like this. In tempore proterita plus, quam perfecto decimus dicent, Caesar, eh?
People will soon have to refer to you in the past pluperfect tense, Caesar.
Di, ecce ora, uxor mea me necabit, abio?
Golly, look at the time. My wife will kill me. I'm out of here.
Ecce, spiritus Elvis.
Look, the ghost of Elvis.
Ubi?
Where?
Et tu, Brute, ad domama ligaris, et nullamo tuisionem spectabis perceptum dies, o subito minimi valio, o pesa cantavi.
Even you, Brutus? You're grounded, and no television for a week. Suddenly, I don't feel so good. Oh, the fat lady has sung.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, so let's bury him and get on to my play. Antony.
And Cleopatra, is this an ass I see before me?
What? You have this bizarre notion that all of Shakespeare's heroines wear really ugly wigs and barf on you.
It's an interpretation.
Barfing is not an interpretation.
Well, they were into it.
Antony and Cleopatra has nothing to do with gastrointestinal distress. It's an exciting transglobal thriller about the political
Oh, it's one of Shakespeare's trans-global plays? I love those. Like the one that totally predicted 21st century wireless communications?
What?
Yeah, it was called Two Mobile Kinsmen.
Benji, Shakespeare didn't write a play called Two Mobile Kinsmen. He wrote a play called Two Noble Kinsmen.
Not two mobile kinsmen.
Two Noble Kinsmen.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Two Mobile Kinsmen because the two kinsmen are Bill Gates and Steve Jobs.
No, the two kinsmen are two cousins that fall in love with the same woman.
Oh, and they're like texting her like, OMG, you're my BFF, LOL!
No.
Well, I've never even heard of that play.
Well, that's because Two Noble Kinsmen falls under Shakespeare's categories, which are neither history, comedy, nor tragedy, and which some scholars refer to as the problem plays, or in some circles, the obscure plays, or the lesser plays, or just simply the bad plays. And yet, not all bad plays go without merit. In fact, one of them, Troilus and Cressida, is hardly bad at all. In fact, I discuss it in my unpublished monograph about the life of William Shakespeare, entitled, I Love Willie. You guys will love it. You explain it.
Troilus and Cressida was written in 1603, published in quarto in 1604, and appears in the first folio. Although this version is some 166 lines longer than the second quarto version of 1645, in which appears the famous Chihuahua scene.
Wait. Didn't I write in there something about the plot?
Of course you did. What kind of scholar do you think you are? You covered the plot in depth on a footnote on page 29. Troilus, youngest son of Priam, king of Troy.
Okay, fine. You be king and you be Troilus.
Great. Loves Cressida.
I'll get the wig.
And has arranged with her uncle Agamemnon for a meeting. Although she feigns indifference, she is attracted to him.
I have to feign indifference?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Greek commander Agamemnon.
Agamemnon, Mikey, this is boring.
This is the kind of stuff kids hate to study in school because it's so boring.
I mean, as soon as I heard Agamemnon, I was asleep. No, I'm sorry, but when I heard that we were going to be performing this play, I told these guys I will not do dry, boring, vomitless Shakespeare. Because it'll just turn you all off. I mean, that's what happened to me. When I was a kid, we used to sit in class, and when we were supposed to be studying this Shakespeare stuff, I'd look out the window and I'd see all the kids playing ball, and I'd think to myself, why can't this Shakespeare stuff be more like sports?
Sports?
How do you mean?
Well, sports are visceral. They're exciting to watch. I mean, take the histories, for example. With all those kings and queens killing each other off and the throne being passed from one generation to the next, it's exactly like a game of football, but you do with the crown.
They are kind of similar, aren't they?
Yeah, I can see that. All right, line them up. Let's get macho.
42, Richard III, Henry V, part 1, 2, 3.
And the crown is now to Richard II, that well-spoken 14th century monarch. He's fading back down looking for an heir, for there's a heavy rush from King John.
My growth flash sinks downward.
The kind of thing Henry VI comes up with it.
Victory is mine!
He's hit immediately by King John, that rarely performed player of the 12th century, and he's down.
Oh, he's killing them out there. This could be out of the Rosen cycle.
King John is in the clear.
Henry V, Richard III, D is the babe, and Charles III. Go Fergie!
My soul had elbow room.
He's to the forward of the 31, more than the 10-yard line, and he's out for the game. You're taking the 7th number 2 King Lear.
Divide we our kingdom in 3. Cordelia, you go long.
A penalty marker is down.
The character of the King Lear is disqualified, and he's not happy about it.
Jerks.
Henry V, Richard III, D is the babe, and Charles III. Go Fergie!
Lining up now is that father-son team of Henry I and Prince Hal. Center snaps to the quarterback. Quarterback gives to the hunchback. Oh, and it looks like Richard III's leg is getting in trouble.
Harlem with the Creole.
And Henry VIII comes up with it. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10. He stops the 5-yarder, cut his wife's head off. And for the Red Rose. My God, you gotta believe that this could be the beginning of a Tudor dynasty.
Henry V, Richard III, D is the babe, and Charles III. Go Fergie!
Stop the music, stop the music. Can I get some house lights, please? can I borrow your program for a sec?
What are you doing?
I just want to check the list of plays. I think we might have done them all already.
Really?
Yeah. We might be able to let you out a little early tonight.
Great.
Because, see, we did all the histories just now.
Yeah, we covered the comedies and a lot.
We did all the tragedies. We did Titus and Andronicus with all the blood.
Romeo and Juliet we did.
Julius Caesar, Charles and Cressida, right?
We wrapped Othello. Lear was in the football game. We did Macbeth in perfect Scottish accents. What about Antony and Cleopatra?
Yeah, I vomited all over the cast.
Right. Timmons of Athens. I mentioned Coriolanus.
I don't want to do that one.
Why? What's the matter with Coriolanus?
I don't like the anus part. I think it's offensive.
Okay, so we skipped the anus play.
That's it. That's all of it, right?
Hey, you guys.
Oh no, Hamlet.
Why did we forget Hamlet?
I don't know. It's right there.
Shakespeare didn't write Hamlet, did he?
What? Of course he did.
Well, what's it about?
You know, it's about the young prince struggling with his conscience after his uncle murders his father.
That's the Lion King.
Right. 36 plays down, 1 to go. Perhaps the greatest play ever written in the English language. A play of such lofty philosophical...
Wait a second, Mikey. Hamlet is a really serious and hardcore play. I'm just not up for it right now.
What do you mean? We've done 36 already.
I know, it's just that football game left me really physically and emotionally drained, and I don't think I could do justice to it.
We don't have to do justice to it. We just have to do it.
I don't want to do it.
Benji, our show is called The Complete Works of William Shakespeare. I think they'd like to see Hamlet.
All right. So we'll call it The Complete Works of William Shakespeare, except for Hamlet.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
All right, fine. You two do it. But I don't have to if I don't want to. I'll sit right here and watch you two do it. You can't make me do it. You can't. All right, just don't touch me.
We're going to do Hamlet now, right?
Yeah.
Jeez, have a cow. Here's your program back. Sorry it got kind of trashed. Right. So we start out with the guard scene. We need Bernardo and Horatio.
Yeah, we need Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Nah, they've got their own play. We can skip that. Hey! Where do you think you're going? Come back here, you Shakespeare wimp!
Mikey's usually much faster than Benji is. I'm sure they'll be back in a minute. And we'll continue with Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark. I hope. I'm scared. Shakespeare wrote 154 Shakespearean sonnets, which we have condensed onto this 3x5 index card. And what I was thinking that maybe we could do is pass it among the audience. Quit the house lights, please. You know, if we start here with you. You take it, read it, enjoy it, and then you pass it to the person next to you, and so on down the row, and back and forth and back and forth and back. And if you wouldn't mind running it up to the back. Okay, great, thanks. And back and forth and back and forth and back. And then by the time it gets to you, Mikey and Benji should be back. So, ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, Shakespeare's sonnets. The first one's actually really good.
Honey, we're home.
Mikey and Benji everyone.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for sticking around. We're back and we're ready to do Hamlet. Woohoo! H-E-L-M-E-T, H-E-L-M-E-T. What does that spell? Helmet! Yeah! I gotta go put on my helmet. Woohoo! H-E-L-M-E-T, H-E-L-M-E-T, H-E-L.
You gave him sugar, didn't you?
No, I told him if he did Hamlet, I'd take him to Disneyland, even though they raised their prices. Right, where were we? 36 plays down, 1 to go. Bob, could you please set the scene for perhaps the greatest play ever written in the English language? Hamlet, the tragedy of the... Hamlet, the tragedy of the Prince of Denmark. The place, Denmark. The time, a very long time ago. The battlements of Elsinore Castle round about midnight, 2 guards entered.
Who's there? Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king. Bernardo? He, 'tis now struck 12, Horatio. Get thee to bed.
For this relief, much thanks.
Well, good night.
Hello! He's speeding up! Look, where it comes!
Mark it, Horatio, and we spoke to.
What art thou? By heaven, I charge thee, speak! 'Tis gone.
Was about to speak when the cock crew.
Break we your watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto Hamlet, Prince of Denmark.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead. So loving to my mother. Frailty, thy name is woman. Yeah, you! Married with mine uncle, my father's brother. Thy funeral baked meats.
Note again Hamlet's obsession with meat. The frequency of references to meat, and especially to pork in Hamlet, lends considerable credence to the theory that Shakespeare's plays were in fact written by Francis Bacon.
Thy funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables.
My lord!
Horatio! Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
My lord, methinks I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
The king, your father.
The king, my father? But where was this?
Upon the platform, where we watched.
'Tis very strange. I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again. All is not well. Would the night war come? The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
Ah, look, where it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Mark me!
Speak. I am bound to hear.
So art thou too vengeance thou shalt hear? If ever thou didst thy dear father love, revenge is foul and most unnatural murther.
Murther?
The serpent that did sink thy father's life now wears his crown.
My uncle.
Your uncle.
Let not the royal bed of Denmark become a couch for incest.
Incest? A couch?
Adieu, Hamlet. Remember me.
There are more things, Horatio, in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy, so piss off! I hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite that ever I was born to exit right.
Exit right.
Neither a borrower nor a lender be. How now, Ophelia, what is the matter?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all embraced, no hat upon his head, pale as a shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport, as if he had been loosed out of how to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
I know not.
Why, this is the very ecstasy of love. I have found the cause of Hamlet's lunacy. Since brevity is the soul of wit, I will be brief. He is mad! But look you, where the poor wretch comes reading. Away, I do beseech you. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God have mercy!
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent, well. You are a fishmonger.
What do you read, my lord?
Oh, words, words, words.
Though this be managed, yet there's method.
Daddy, the players are here, and they want to do a play within a play, and I don't know what that is, so you better talk to them right away.
My lord?
I am put mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. If he do but blench, I know my course. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler to suffer in the mind the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, or to just take a nap and hope you wake up in time for dinner because you gotta make guacamole for 12 and you just can't handle the pressure of this speech. I can't do it.
Benji, Mikey and I were talking backstage, and you don't have to go on with the speech if you don't want to.
I'm so embarrassed.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to excuse him. It's a very heavy emotional speech, and he's been under a lot of pressure lately, what with what's been happening with Gloria.
Gloria!
You see, Gloria is Benji's favorite character in Modern Family. He's upset because...
Yeah, okay, so we're just gonna skip her for tonight. Look, I'm sorry if anyone feels ripped off, but, you know, it's really an overrated play. You know, Hamlet is supposed to be thinking about killing his uncle, and then he starts thinking about killing himself, and we just think it weakens the character, so we're just gonna skip it and move on to a different part of the play.
Shall we skip to the play within a play sequence?
Yeah, we'll just skip to it so you don't really miss anything.
Wait a minute, there's that one other speech of Hamlet's. I don't think we should cut it.
Oh, what a piece of work is man speech.
Yeah, I have Chevi memorize it. Chevi?
Right, well, this is one speech that goes, I have a fleet, but wherefore I know not, lost my birth, forgotten my custom exercise, and indeed goes heavily my disposition, because believe me, the earth seems to have from answer, this air looking, sprayed, overhanging, roof, faded, golden fire. But appears to me no more than a fool, and pets on congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man, how noble a reason, how unfitted faculty and form of moving, how expressed in arrival, and action like an angel, apprehension like a god, and yet to me, what is a sense of dust, man's likes not me. Thank you.
That was amazing. So we'll skip that speech and go right to the killing. Wait a minute, what about the get thee to a nunnery scene?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll just do that one really quickly.
No, we can't.
We have to. It's central to the plot.
Ophelia is really a very difficult and complex character. Amanda came out here before, and I don't think she did a very good job.
Let's get her to do it again, then.
It's really extremely difficult. Amanda, come out here. Woo.
You see, Hamlet has had this relationship with Ophelia, but what's been happening with his father and his mother and his uncle, yada, 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 he just can't deal with her anymore.
He's being a real jerk.
So he tells her to get out of his life. He says, "Get thee to a nunnery." Now in our version of the scene, all Ophelia does in response is, she screams. That's all she does. Hamlet says, "Get thee to a nunnery," and Ophelia screams. Right, let's give it a try.
Get thee to a nunnery!
Ah!
Did you do that, Benji? Thought it sounded really good.
It was okay.
No. It sucks. Look, I don't mean to be catty, but you're just not an actress. And it shows here. You clearly have no idea what was going on inside Ophelia's head.
Actors use what they call subtext, Amanda.
Or inner monologue.
Exactly, and that's what you didn't have. And as a result, your performance was just flat and one-dimensional. But I think you gave a lot of heart, a lot of courage, a lot of, as Shakespeare would say, chutzpah. And I think that we should really workshop this. I think we could really make this into a happening moment. In fact, can we have the house lights, please? Thank you. I think that we should get everyone involved, create a supportive environment for Amanda here. Maybe you can have the audience act out what's going on inside Ophelia's head. Or maybe divide up everyone between Ophelia's id-ego and superego.
Yeah, like a Freudian analysis.
Yeah, a Floridian analysis.
Okay, let's get Esti and Mikey Pollack to play the id. Esti, Mikey?
And Davidowitz as the ego.
Alright, so at this point in the play, Ophelia's ego is confused, it's flighty, it's an ego on the run.
Yeah, and we'd like you to symbolize this. We'd like you to symbolize this by having you actually run across the stage in front of Ophelia. Can you give it a try? Just right now, just
Go, 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 go.
Okay, now everybody in the first 2 rows, you're going to be Ophelia's id. Now, her id is confused, it's wishy-washy, it's a washing sea of alternatives.
Okay, so everyone in the first 2 rows, put your hands up. Hands up. Wave them back and forth and say, maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, come on, maybe not. Okay, it's good. It's good. Save some for later.
Okay, thank you. Why don't we have the Pittinskys and Speaker come out to be Ophelia's superego?
This is the final psychological component. The superego is a strong, moralistic voice inside your head that tell you exactly what to do.
They're very powerful, very difficult to shake. Some people never shake them in their whole lifetime.
It's sort of like Catholicism. It's a very complex part of the psyche. Oh, why do we divide the superego into 3 parts?
To my left, be section A, minus the first 2 rows.
You're section B.
And over here to my right is section C. It's not too difficult, is it?
Now, section A, you're the masculine part of Ophelia's brain, the animus, so to speak. And now, section A, I'd like to use Hamlet sign for this. I'd like you to say, get thee to a nunnery. Let's try it, section A.
Section A! That's awful!
Come on, people, work with me. We want this very loud, very shining, section A. Let's hear it. Get thee to a nunnery.
Yes, much less totally good then. So, section B, you're the voice of vanity, saying, for God's sake, do something with yourself. Put on some makeup or something. No offense, this is straight out of the text. So I'd like you to say, paint an inch thick. Section B?
Wow.
This is bad, section A.
Okay, now section C, we've saved you for last because you're the most important component of them all. Because we're going to use you to draw this into a modern context. Ophelia wants to be relevant of the women of today. She wants power, but she doesn't want to lose her femininity. She wants to be a corporate executive, but she wants to have babies at the same time. And deep within that psyche, she's tired of being the waifus hippie chick, and she wants to assert herself. And she just feels like saying, look, cut it out, Hamlet. My biological clock is ticking, and I want babies now. It's that angst-ridden...
Cut it out, Hamlet. My biological clock is ticking, and I want babies now.
Let's try it, section C.
So now we're going to get all these elements in play. The id, The ego, the superego.
The biological clock?
Maybe, maybe not.
All right, so now your job as an actress is to take all of these elements, synthesize them within your soul. Then, at that great moment of truth, we're going to build everyone up into a mighty frenzy, stop everything, all attention goes to you, and you let out with this scream that epitomizes Ophelia. Ah, she can't wait. And remember, no matter what happens, act natural.
Okay, let's start with the ego.
Ready? On your mark, get set, go.
In, arms up. Maybe, maybe not.
Section A!
Maybe, maybe not.
Section B, come on, Section B! And let's hear it.
We really shared something there, didn't we? But we digress. Back to Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 2, the famous play within a play scene, where Hamlet finds conclusive evidence that his uncle murdered his father.
Now, speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. Suit the action to the word to the action, and hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature.
My lord, the players have arrived.
Madame, the players are most welcome. Will my lord hear this piece of work?
Hey, and the king too, presently.
And how does my cousin Hamlet and my son?
A little more than kin, and less than kind.
Nay, Hamlet, these words are not mine.
Take a seat, my lord.
The Royal Theatre of Denmark is proud to present The Murder of Gonzago. My lord, Act 1. My lord, Act 1, Scene 2.
Hubba, hubba.
Intermission!
How likes my lord the play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks. Get it? He doesn't get it.
My lord, Act 2.
Gesundheit!
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog.
Lights away! Give over the play!
On my chair.
I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000.
My lord, the queen would like to speak with you in her closet.
Then I will come to my mother.
Behind their eyes, I'll convey myself to hear the process.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help!
Help!
How now? A rat!
No. Oh no, this is going to hurt. Oh!
Dead for a ducat, dead.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten.
Oh no! It's
Laertes.
Laertes, son of Polonius.
Brother to Ophelia.
I'm a snappy dresser.
Why, thanks. Oh, thou vile king, give me my father. I'll be revenged for Polonius' murder. How now, what noise is this? Dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia.
They bore a bare face on the pier with a hey naughty naughty, hey naughty, and in his grave read many a tear with a hey naughty naughty, ha cha cha. Fare you well, my dove. I'm mad, I'm out of my little mind. See, this is acting. Here's a root for you and rosemary for remembrance, and I would have given you violets, but they withered all when my father died, and I'm starting to feel a little nauseous. Sorry, it must be the whole death thing and all.
Ophelia, come back.
Mikey, what's the next scene with Ophelia?
What?
What's the next scene with Ophelia?
There are no more scenes with Ophelia.
What? No, come on, I'm up for it. Remember, I did that whole screaming thing.
That's all Shakespeare wrote.
Well, what happens to her?
She drowns.
Oh, okay.
Hamlet comes back. What would I undertake to show myself my father's son, indeed, more than in words too?
Here I go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
To cut his throat in the church, I, and to that end I'll anoint my sword with an unction so mortal that where it draws blood, no cataplasm can save its thing from this compulsion. I don't know what it means either.
This skull had a tongue in it, and could sing once. Then came the Nutrisystem weight loss program. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him. But soft, here comes the queen. Couch me a while and mark.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh make violets spring.
Sweets the sweet, farewell.
Hold off the earth a while till I've caught her once more in mine arms.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? This is I, Hamlet, the great Dane. Woof!
Gentlemen, Hamlet, Laertes!
The devil take thy soul!
I will fight with him until my eyelids no longer wag. The cat will meow, meow. The dog will have his day. Woof! Give us the foils.
Come, one for me.
Careful, those are sharp.
On guard! Clink, 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 swish, swish, clink. Clink, swish, swish, clink.
One.
No.
Judgment.
A hit, a very palpable hit. Here, Hamlet, here's to thy health. Drink off this cup.
Nay, set it by a while, uncle. Father? Mother? Whatever you are.
Clink, 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 swish, swish, clink. Clink, clink, swish, swish, clink.
Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Thou, you have caroused me, Hamlet.
Madame, do not drink.
Oh, I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is a poisoned cup. It is too late.
Come for the third, Laertes.
Clink, 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 swish, swish, clink. Clink, clink, swish, swish.
Laertes, yo! Riposte! Coup d'etat! Café au lait! Désormais! Merde! How does the queen?
She swoons to see thee bleed.
No, it is the drink. I am poisoned.
Oh, villainy! Treachery! Seek it out!
Forgive me, Hamlet. It is here I lie never to rise again. I can no more. The king's to blame.
What? The point evident to? Then venom to thy work. Here, thou incestuous, murderous, cross-dressing dame! Follow my mother!
Forgive me, Hamlet, for I am justly killed by mine own treachery.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. You that look pale, and that tremble at this chance, that are but mutes, or an audience to this act. If ever thou didst hold me in thy hearts, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world did draw thy breath in pain, tell my story. The rest is silence.
Very well, ladies and gentlemen, we shall do it
One more time!
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the complete work of William Shakespeare. But we have a few more minutes, so we are going to be doing Hamlet once more very quickly. But I have a brief announcement because we have some children in the audience. You've seen a lot of swords being used, a lot of props being thrown everywhere. We make it seem very simple, but it is actually very difficult and very dangerous. So please keep in mind that we are all members of the Frisch Drama Society and have been practicing for 5 months.
Do not try this at home.
Yeah, go over to a friend's house.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt!
My lord, methinks I saw your father yesterday.
Would the night were come!
Pardon me!
Something is wrought in the state of Denmark!
That's my birthday!
My lord, this is
There
strange!
are stranger things in heaven and earth, so piss off! To be or not to be, that is the...
Good, my lord!
Get thee to an unreal! Speak the speech trippingly on the tongue.
Give over the flame!
I'll take the ghost word for 1,000 pounds. Now, mother, what's the matter?
That was already help!
How now? A rat! Dead for a ducat dead!
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
Where?
Dead.
Sweet
Alas, poor Yorick! But soft, here comes the queen.
Lighter in the earth!
Sweet, so sweet!
Hold off the earth a while!
It is I, Unless the Danish.
The devil take thy soul!
Give us the foils.
One for me, oh, I am slain!
Alright, poison!
I follow thee, the rest is silence. Ladies and gentlemen, we will do it faster! Ladies and gentlemen, we will do it backwards! What? Okay, maybe I got a little carried away. Come on, guys.
And be sure to listen for the satanic messages.
Silence is resta. Be followed.
Judas Priest is gone!
Send him I out!
Foils the usgive. Gain the Hamlet, I is this.
Earth the uphold!
Sweet, sweet, sweet!
Earth the inner life!
Queen that comes here. Your poor alas.
Oh, feel the sweet!
Dead. Duck it up for dead.
How let me murder not without, do not with what?
Madam Hunter. Tongue the on, trippingly speech to speak. Get, nunnery out to thee get. B2 not our B2. Oh, yes! Captain Heaven thinks you are there.
Change this or not.
Denmark of Spain in Rodney something.
My father methinks my work.
Melt with flesh solid this, that, 220.
Emmanuelle Speaker. Mikey Pollack. Newman.